Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Beers and Bullshit. Mr. J. Simon, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Cole. How you doing, man?
Doing awesome, doing even better because we got a guy who I've been wanting to get on the podcast for a second here. We love the Black Hills, and we love everything about the Black Hills, and so why not get one of the better musicians in the Black Hills, in my personal opinion, and someone who is a part of the huge rise of now 2 bar locations in the Iron PHNX. We have Devon Sants on the podcast here. So, Devon, how you doing today, bud?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me in here.
Absolutely, man. It's awesome to have you. If there's anything we love, it's local bars and local music. So
exactly. I mean, we only named the brand Beers and Bullshit.
Yeah. I think we might like beer a little bit.
Just a smidge. And I know at the Phoenix, you guys specialize in actually holding a lot of brands on tap, kind of getting a little bit off kilter there to what the usual Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light, Shock Top.
Yeah, we like to have more craft beer. We like to be support our local friends and get the local beers on tap.
Sorry, you literally just read off Joe's tap list.
I know. Where do you think it was coming from?
That is hilarious. No, it's it's good to have you on, Devon. And my wife and I went to the Iron PHNX for the first time probably 3 weeks ago. We were coming back from Spearfish. This is before you guys bought the Z Barn, so maybe it was a little longer than that. But that is a cool fucking bar, dude. Like, it is unlike anything else we have in Rapid. I love it.
Yeah, when Rob and Jed wanted to do the steampunk theme, I met them because I played their grand opening, and I just loved it right away.
Yeah.
We hit it off right away, which is how in turn I started working there. But yeah, steampunk is its own thing. It's very unique. There's nothing else like it, and really the state, as far as I know.
Yeah,
which is super cool. And I'd only been to like one steampunk event back home in Denver, and it was by accident. And I was like, "This is awesome!" So it was something I've kind of been interested in even before. So
absolutely,
working there just kind of fits right in for me. So
has Rapid City ever even had a steampunk event, or are we that far behind?
I don't know if Rapid even knew what steampunk was before the Iron PHNX. So just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a premise here, we used to have this building that once upon a time did trading cards, video games, and stuff on the west side of town by Metalwood Bowling Lanes. And so it's kind of a little, I wouldn't say out there, but it's definitely on the more suburbia side of the west side. And so for years, this building was just run down, abandoned, like, I was pretty sure like there was like maybe like a commune or, some sort of witchcraft going on in the building. But I know Jeb and Rob essentially just took the building and renovated it and made it this. I mean, really, you'd find this in downtown Denver, Los Angeles, San Diego, some happening scene. And it's just off the beaten path from your average just country kind of South Dakota bar.
Yeah. I think it was the dry cleaner most recently was what it was before. And they had like this random door in the back that had no stairs or a way to get into it. And so it's just kind of like there's all these random little things about this building that make it unique, which just fits the steampunk theme.
Yeah.
And Jen, she did all these cool mannequins, decking them out steampunk. And so the art is what really makes that place pop. And they try to be all about the arts and music, of course. So that's just kind of all blends together.
That's really cool, man. Devon, tell us a little bit, because obviously I'm reading about the Iron PHNX. Now, obviously you have Rob and Jen Heckel, who started up the Iron PHNX. Looks like they have a business partner as well that helped them launch. Just from what I'm reading in the article, what's your involvement in the Iron PHNX? How did you get involved with this and help them start this pretty cool scene?
Well, I met them. I'm a musician, so I played their grand opening with my buddy Chris Husengay for 2 nights back to back. And even before that, I was asking him what kind of sound he had, if I needed to bring my own. And then he's like, well, you can come by if you want to. And I said, well, send me the address. And I was at Haggerty's when we were having this conversation, and that was like a block away. Okay. So I just drove up there, went inside, met him and Jeff at the time. He was a guy who was kind of helping out with the launch. And we just hit it off right away. We started talking about business. And at the time, I was a district manager for T-Mobile. I had been for almost 10 years. So I knew how to run a business really well as far as like HR and employees and all that stuff goes. And he offered me a job, and I kind of was like, well, I don't really need one right now. And then sooner or later, my stores out here in Rapid City were being bought, and I didn't like the new company that was taking over. And so I was like, hey, man, is that job still on the table? And then been there ever since.
Awesome. So you're kind of like a general manager type of position. Is that kind of what you do?
For this one in the Spearfish location.
Sweet. Now, sorry, Cole, I interrupted you earlier. Do you have
No,
anything else
you're
to add?
good. The only thing I wanted to add is he was talking about the art there, which is extremely unique. You have like a lot of steel metal work that's kind of in there. Like I said, very, I'd say steampunk, but almost like a new metal kind of vibe to it as well. My favorite thing though is they have a mounted deer head that has buck teeth glasses and a top hat on it. Hopefully, I can get the picture of this and use it in the video because it is by far my favorite bar piece I've seen in any bar, and I've seen a couple in my day. So.
You're forgetting the best part of that whole thing is he's wearing a monocle.
Oh yes,
It's so great.
I totally forgot the monocle.
Now, this is the one above the dance floor, kind of back in the corner, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my god. Yeah, I remember we were sitting at the bar and stuff's like, babe. I'm like, what? She's like, look at that fucking deer up there. And I'm like, oh my god. And when I noticed I had a monocle, I absolutely lost it. Yeah.
My favorite joke when I do bartend, which isn't often, people are like, "Oh man, how did they get it that way?" I'm like, "Actually, they just shot it in the wild that way."
So we were going hunting in England. So this is one of those finer English deers. So when like the Queen and everybody, they're on one of their multiple million-acre plots of land.
Yep.
When they go out hunting, as you've seen in the show. What is it? The Queen or whatever the one is about Queen Elizabeth. Yeah. So that's what it is. That's how deer are dressed in England.
Yeah. Jolly good day to you, sir. Oh,
My God, you shot me.
my God!
What the bloody hell was that for?
You bloody Yanks!
All they're concerned with is killing people over there.
Yeah, but
that's funny.
All the art there is local too. A lot of the murals on the wall are this guy in town, Paul Fiddler. He's a tattoo artist.
Oh.
And he does a really good job up in Spearfish. We've got Chloe Anderson Meyer. She's doing she did our octopus mural, which is badass up there, and she did a phoenix, and she's working on a few more. So
that's awesome.
Definitely like to support local artists.
Yeah.
I was about to say, we are all about the local scene. We always like to shout out a local beer. We didn't get into that one this time. I'm sure Jace will come up with something on the top of his head to throw. He's drinking Dunn Brothers. Devon and I are drinking Celsius, the vitamin and green tea based energy drink. So we will shout out those companies here, but definitely all about the local scene here. But speaking of local scene, let's transition enough about the Phoenix. Let's talk about you, Devon, because you've been in the music scene here in Rapid for a good time now. I mean, kind of tell us about your journey, how you started up, and where it's kind of taking you here, because it's taking you to some pretty cool places, it seems like.
Yeah, definitely. It's how I've made most of my friends and met everybody that I know now, which seems to be a crazy amount of people. When I first moved here, I didn't know a single person, and I started hanging out at Lost Cabin, this little brewery you guys might have heard of.
Yep.
Once or twice.
Yeah. I was hanging out there quite a bit. When I say quite a bit, like every day for months. And I met Megan. She worked there, and she introduced me to her friend Haley Falzerano, who instantly became a good friend of mine. She was wearing this little Mumford & Sons bag purse thing, and I was like, okay, I'm a huge Mumford fan. Who are you? And so we started talking. She's like, you got to meet my boyfriend at the Loud. He runs this open jam. And I was like, what the hell's the Loud? And she's like, the Loud American Sturgis. I'm like, okay. So I go up there. And that's basically where I met Chris Husengay and Tyler Bills and all these, bigger names that were already established here, and kind of made my way and started doing gigs. And then Chris and I started partnering up a few years ago. This will be our third rally together. We just were like, hey, we should just book a gig and see how it goes and just do it, as like a duo kind of thing. And it's been going really well. And now we've recorded out in Nashville. We just got back from a East River tour. We were playing in Huron and Sioux Falls and Pierre, which was really fun. Man, it's been a journey. I made some good friends. I basically made a new family out here because, like I said, I knew no one. I'd never even been to South Dakota when I moved here.
Well, most people never think to move to South Dakota. Where are you from originally?
Colorado.
Okay, gotcha. What part of Colorado?
Pueblo, Denver.
Okay, yep. South of Denver there. Yep.
But I've been all over Colorado, and then it'll be 4 years in October that I've been here in the Black Hills, and I love the Black Hills.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you picked the right little nugget of South Dakota to live in because you go outside that.
No, I just did an East River tour. I realize I am lucky.
Yeah, you're very lucky, yes, because you travel just 20 minutes past the Flying J on the west or on the east side there, and it's
20 miles. That's gracious. Have you seen Box Elder? Have you seen Box Elder? I feel really bad for the airmen who have to drive 25 minutes, and then I realized, dude, Ellsworth Air Force Base could be in Pierre, South Dakota, and then you're just screwed at that point.
Right.
Like, you're making, 3-hour trips to go to Sioux Falls?
Woo! I realized when we were coming back from, we had to make a few trips to Wall over the past couple weeks, and when you enter Rapid from the east, you're greeted by 2 straight miles of just rundown trailer parks on the side of the interstate. So I'm just like, what are people's first impressions of Rapid when they're coming in from that direction?
Come into the beautiful Black Hills. You can see different scenes like rundown trailer parks. See a woman in a tank top at 7 o'clock in the morning chasing her husband with a tennis racket. Other beautiful sights to see are the flat rolling plains. And by roll, we mean like about 2 or 3 feet.
Yep. Man with machete, mom spaghetti. We got it all. We got
Emphasis
it all.
on the mom spaghetti. Never short on the mom spaghetti.
Oh,
One thing is
man.
coming back from Sioux Falls, it's all the signs for Wall Drug.
Yeah,
They have the best marketing person in the world.
they
man.
do. That started, 50 years ago? They started that marketing scheme.
They literally have signs everywhere. They have
Mhm.
signs in Russia. They have signs in, I think it's over 100 countries now.
Yep.
And 100 different countries to where if you come to America, you're like, yeah, I need to see the Wall Drug place. Yes.
So when Steph and I, God, I'm trying to remember exactly where we saw it, but I remember we were on our honeymoon over in Europe, and there was a Wall Drug sign on a boat we were on that said Wall Drug like 12,000 miles that way or whatever. It was like ridiculous. I'm like, are you kidding me? We can't escape it no matter where we go. We're outside. We're off the coast of Ireland and we can't escape it.
It's like the Shia LaBeouf. Creeping in the night, it's
Shia
Wall
LaBeouf.
Drug. Chasing you with a knife, it's Wall Drug.
That's exactly
Slashing
what it's
through your
like.
body.
That's
Everybody run from Wall Drug.
cool. That's a fantastic analogy. I love it.
I'm gonna have to get a shirt that says Wall Drug. It's a place. Go there.
It's a place, and I'm assuming you've seen all of its majesty yourself.
I've been to their gas station.
It's
That is it.
breathtaking. It's breathtaking.
Oh, yeah. Go see the 20-year-old T-Rex that used to just terrify me as a
Yeah.
child. I thought it was real.
Oh yeah, no, it's my sister-in-law. It scarred her. She couldn't go back. Like she didn't go back there till she was an adult because that T-Rex scarred her as a child. And she was just telling us that story. And to Wall's credit, their marketing is phenomenal. That is an incredible marketing that they've done. But it is a cool little place, and they got the best donuts in the area. So
I've heard about the donuts.
Yeah,
I was
Wall
at their gas
donuts are
station and
the
I,
best.
Posted on Snapchat with my location thing on. People were like, "What are you doing in Wall Drug? Bring me some free donuts." I'm like, what the hell? Multiple people wanted their free donuts.
Yep, you can. I think Dale donuts are what they're called.
Dale's, yep.
Dale. So yeah,
Listen, I'll still stay to this day, like a good plain day-old donut still slaps over a fresh
It
one.
does.
Like if you're talking just a plain donut.
yep. My wife dropped off a bag for us. I think what was it last week at the dealership, and it was like, hell yeah! Everybody was in a good mood.
Yeah, except me. Where the fuck was my donut at?
I don't know. I don't think you were there. That may have been on. Anyways, wow, bunny trail, guys! Holy cow!
Yeah, bunny
All
trailing like
so
crazy.
from Colorado, came up to Rapid. Obviously, you've met a lot of people. Where do you see, like, from where you're at now? Obviously, you've not only, like you said, made this new family in Rapid, but now you've kind of got a career going with the Iron PHNX bars. You guys are expanding. I know we were kind of going, and we'll circle back around to that. But before, I wanted to talk about the Spearfish expansion as well, because we didn't really touch base on that too much. But you guys bought the Z bar up there and you transformed that, and I've heard phenomenal things about that. How did that all go? Like, how did you guys end up acquiring the Z bar?
Well, that had been for sale for quite some time,
Okay.
and Rob had put a bid in, and when we got accepted, it was a pretty awesome day. And when we closed on that, we immediately started like just cleaning things and doing some renovation and painting the walls, trying to get a different vibe in there.
Yeah.
And the basement was a little bit creepy.
Yeah.
I didn't like being down there by myself. Felt like I was being watched a lot. So
Yeah.
we got it smudged, which was
Okay.
cool. And just completely different vibe in there.
Good.
Changing it back into the core roots of a music venue. Just really an arts venue, because we're going to do more than just music there. And there's just so much potential with this building.
Yeah.
And just showing it a lot of love and just trying to get it back to where it's more of a family based. Like you feel like your family here.
Yeah.
It's, it's just it's a fun vibe.
Cool.
And we have an assortment of different ideas of what we want to do there. And just with Spearfish in general, not just at the Z bar, but like Spearfish doesn't have a bar crawl. And so what I plan to do next week is to kind of visit all the downtown, all 5 little bars, and come up with some sort of pub crawl for the fall. I think that'd be really cool for Spearfish to have. And so we really want to get integrated in the community, not just have a business there. That's kind of my goal. A lot of my friends live up there. You mentioned Chris Gay earlier, and Tyler, Bills, and Haley. They're all in Spearfish. So
Love Spearfish.
Well, and that's the thing with Spearfish too, is going to college up there myself. The Z Bar was a poppin' place just because it's downtown. But over time, kind of what I saw from the outside is they, kind of just went to a very basic college bar, which is what we see a lot around here. Not to say that the locals don't like it, the people don't like it, but everybody just kind of reverts back to this. I think about them in town. They do it really well, but like a Joe's, Kelly's, like everybody wants to be this name bar that is just a bar, which is fantastic. But also for those of us who want a little bit of variety, the Phoenix has been just a breath of fresh air. And especially I was super happy to hear about, because I've been a fan of the Phoenix from their Sunday night karaoke nights, which is run there by a good friend of mine, Jada. And so just from going there, just experiencing the vibe, just enjoying the Phoenix, hearing that they expanded to the Z Bar, and just the potential that has in a community that's really got two types of people. It's got, closer to the end of the road retirees. And then as far as like they're about to retire, I don't mean like in the, morbid sense. Yeah, they're about to die in 5 years. Go spend your money. No, but like, yeah, so it's either like, like an older community or college students. That's really all Spearfish is. At the end of the day, you obviously have your families kind of mixed in. It's a popping, growing community. I think it's on terms with Rapid as far as it is just progressing and growing at a crazy rate. Because I remember Spearfish 10 years ago is not the Spearfish of today.
Yeah,
it really is growing a lot, and we want to cater to all sorts of people, not just a college crowd. Because what I hear from people, like me, about to turn 30, and people in their 30s with families, it's like, I don't want to go hang out with a bunch of younger people. I just want to kind of relax, have a conversation, have a few drinks, listen to some music. So we want to cater to both. We'll have different events like, oh, hey, it's a dance night. Hey, it's a live music. Hey, it's burlesque, whatever the thing is, great karaoke. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But we want to cater to all the different types of groups and maybe do some stuff during the day, some kicking back with some wine. Or we thought about having like a intellectual conversation kind of thing, like a round table where we can discuss random things on a stage, and we're just throwing all these crazy ideas out there just to make it unique and different. Yeah. But we definitely want to cater to all.
To everybody.
So you're saying on the open forum we can go there and we can have a public death monster death match? Because I don't know if you've listened to the podcast. We have a segment running that we do every couple of episodes. We've started probably within the last 10 episodes. Yeah. It's called Death Monster Death Match. We take different monsters from culture, animated movies, different things like that. So like we did, what was it, Godzilla versus Cthulhu. We've done Charizard versus Blue Eyes White Dragon, like Pokemon versus Yu-Gi-Oh. And so that's, you said open forum discussion, and I'm like, yes, public death monster death match.
Honestly, that'd be awesome. We were talking about how there's just been this divide in our nation, really, with politics and all these different things going on. And it would be nice to just have a conversation about those things where it doesn't have to get heated. We can see both sides of the argument and really just kind of come together, because like, for example, I don't go to church. Anybody who listens to my music knows, like, this guy's a little bit on the darker side. But I have a friend who's a youth pastor. We'll sit there and have a beer and have a good conversation. And that's something we were talking about last night. It's like, this would be kind of cool to just host one of those and see how it goes. And then we're also talking about hosting a singles night. So we're just kind of all over the place.
I love it. And, Devin, I love that mentality, because that's actually a big kind of core mentality around our podcast in general. It's that put whatever your beliefs, your views are, whatever it is, we can all have our own individuality and our own opinions and still get along and have good conversation and have a good time together. There's no reason why opinion and bias should ever split people. Right. And, I love that mentality. It's fantastic.
At the end of the day, we're just people. One of my favorite songs is called One Kind of People.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what you believe in or what you've heard or whatever. There's only one kind of people in this world, people who die. So we're all the same.
Yeah. Yep.
It's interesting. It's a little bit morbid.
No.
It's a good mentality. It's like we're all equal.
Yep.
Well, you can take the morbidity from it, but also take a look at the same time. I mean, really, like, just to kind of get on a little bit of a soapbox here, the only thing we really have that's different is pigmentation of skin and different, facial and bone structure features that, when you break it down to the day, is really silly and stupid. Because, well, I want to say we all have like liver and kidneys and stuff, but obviously from surgery, that is not the case with some people. But humans are 99.9% the same on a DNA level. Like, we are almost like within like a couple percentiles of chimpanzees. And so if you're going to take these little differences, I think differences are something to be celebrated, something to make light fun of, in a comedic aspect, but it's nothing you should ever hold against a person, because seeing things from a different point of view is the beauty of life. Right. It's figuring out something that you never knew before. And when that light clicks, that aha, just from someone who's a huge like knowledge seeker, intelligence seeker, just trying to see things from like all perspectives of life, it's beautiful. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It is so cool when you can actually like have that. You're like, dude, I never thought of something like that before.
Right. I like hearing about other people's upbringing and the things that they went through, because it's usually different from mine. Like, I had a rough childhood. You know, there's no denying it. But it's also like, I want to hear about somebody who didn't. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid watching the Brady Bunch, I'm like, damn, what if my life was like that? It'd be awesome. Different. You know, it's just embracing our differences rather than letting it define us and divide us and all that kind of. I don't know. I always am fascinated by people's life stories, so I just like to listen.
That's awesome, man. And you like to create too. And you've got some really good music out there. I know you were talking about you went down to Nashville and you recorded. Is that where you recorded I'm so sorry, I just listened to it. I'm Not a Hero. Is that the name of the song?
No, I recorded that one. That actually came out in February on my album The Wicked Road, and I recorded the music video shortly after that with Destin Human up in Spearfish. He did a fantastic job. And all that stuff has been released. Everything I've recorded since then is for my next album that's going to come out around Halloween called Righteous Path. And the songs I recorded in Nashville will be on there. They're actually going to be released as singles. I have one single coming out on July 17th called Devil's Two-Step, and that's just about, I had this idea. People always say, oh, you know, that's food for the soul. And that saying and whatever, I was like, what isn't food? What isn't good for the soul? And so I just kind of played off that, and it was just this idea of somebody just wreaking havoc and chaos just for fun. And that's where the album starts. It's very bluesy, rock and roll, upbeat. And then after that, the two I recorded in Nashville will come out after that.
That's awesome. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called art. That is the difference between just making music to get plays and clicks and actually creating art, because there is a difference. There is a big difference. You know, that's awesome. I love it.
I really don't care what people like. I play music. I started playing music originally because I dealt with suicide for a long time when I was younger. And music just had this therapeutic way of letting me release things and not letting it stay inside. I went to this suicide prevention tour of Blue October, and it kind of changed my life. I was like, well, shit, this guy's been through it clearly. I thought I was the only one, because everybody always thinks that. And that opened my eyes to like, well, hey, maybe there's something to writing songs and telling people about my story rather than just getting upset with myself and bottling it in. And so that's why I started writing music. And to this day, when I write a song, I think, am I telling the right story? Am I capturing what I felt in this time? Because usually it's based off something in my life, maybe not exactly. And that's what I think at first. I know other people are like, can you dance to this? You know, is this going to have all the trending words that are what? I don't care about that. Shit. I never have.
And that's that. I mean, that the root and the essence of music should always come from your heart and your soul. I mean, it really should. It shouldn't. At some point in time throughout the music scene, it became less about passion and more about money. And that's where you see the split between the mainstream and the underground, you know.
Well, I think music's always had that like sellout kind of aspect to it, but I think we see it more often nowadays because you see a lot of the artists, and I'm just going to kind of single out a specific genre. Rap music, for example, something that I thoroughly enjoy. I love the wordplay. I love the lyricism. I love the double and triple and quadruple entendres. The fact that you can literally say a sentence and have it mean 5-6 different things depending on what you previously said and what you mean next. It is poetry with a beat to it. But the problem is most people think of this sellout rap, this the WAP songs and everything like that going on. And I feel like a lot of the artists, I feel like a hipster nowadays, because in that avenue specifically, a lot of the artists I listen to, most people haven't heard of. Or
that's the same, because I love rap too. But I don't like this mumble rap or a lot of these mainstream artists, because it's just like, dude, this isn't. I'm sorry, this is not that good. Like, you're singing about things that either I just can't relate to, or it's just nonsense.
It's just throwing auto-tune on your voice and putting a catchy beat that people can just get drunk and completely lose their sobriety.
They're just not getting the credit they deserve.
NF's my boy.
I was about to say, I'll shout out a couple right now. NF is fantastic. If you haven't listened to NF, and then once again on the issues we talked about, struggling with depression and everything like that, that's something I wholeheartedly relate to. It's a battle I still honestly fight, if we're going to be honest about it here. And so NF has helped me probably get through the hardest times in my life, on top of good family and friends, and seeking support and help and everything. But in that avenue, music, when you said that, music just touches the soul in a different way. That's how I feel about it. Because there's some days, what no one says, nothing can help me besides getting into the car, literally like listening to like A Day to Remember. Is a phenomenal band that I just love. And I'll tune in, just kind of belt out that, quote unquote emo side for a little bit, and it's just like after 15 minutes, music can literally make you feel like nobody else. Like, I mean, it literally turns your mood around completely. It makes you feel understood. It makes you feel like, okay, you're not crazy for going what you're going through. You're completely in the valid area.
Yep.
As a human being, you have the right to feel emotion.
Yeah.
Newsflash.
Absolutely. And you know,
It's okay.
I can't express that enough too. And it really, you know, God, it wasn't too long ago. I was really doing some reflecting because before I met my wife, I struggled with depression really bad when I was in my late teenage years. And every single night I used to listen to music for just hours and fall asleep to it. And it would resonate. And it was almost what stabilized me, you know, kind of. I would find some songs that were relating to what I was feeling, and it would just it would hit that perfect vibe, and it would stabilize my mood and just kind of help me get through things. And I know you said you like talking to people with different backgrounds and different stuff. And I used to, I guess I'd be a prime example of somebody who did used to struggle. And I guess I've, over the past decade, throughout a series of events, I'm fortunate enough to where I'm not struggling with that anymore. But I've noticed that I don't find myself absorbed in music as much as I used to be. There was like a direct correlation between when I was struggling with depression and how often I listen to music and now. And I didn't notice that until not too long ago when I was doing some reflecting on it. And so
now you're a podcast bitch.
And now I'm a podcast bitch. Yes, I'm second fiddle, baby. I don't care. I don't care.
Even listening to podcasts, I listen to one called Lore all the time, and it's awesome. You know, they just talk about different folklore, different things and whatnot.
That's cool.
But even there's art in that. You know, if you think about the art and the lyrics and different things like that of what you're really tuning into, it's no different. You know, still emotion is still part of your brain that's like in wonder. You know. Yeah. But like I like Blue October. It's probably my number one favorite band of all time, and they've helped me through a lot of things. And you could see Justin Furstenfeld. That's his progression of his life. He used to be really upset and used to hurt a lot. And then now he sings like, you know, I used to fall, now I get back up. And he sings about his family, and it's gotten really happy. It's because he's changed. He's gotten over these things, and he's worked through these demons, and he's in a happy place. And it's kind of interesting to go on this journey with him because in similar ways, I've gotten over a lot of things. So I still listen to him the same way, and I still relate to it the same way, even though it's in a lighter spectrum. Yeah. And then, I don't know, for some reason, I went through a lot of dark things in my life, and went through some bad things at the end of last year and was dealing with it, and it kind of all just came rushing back a little bit. And I don't know, sometimes I think we just suppress things, and it's like they're still there. I'm just fine enough to where I don't care about it. And then when things aren't fine enough, it's like, bam, now everything comes rushing back. And so, like, one of the songs I'm getting ready to release that I recorded in Nashville is called Grace. And I don't curse in my songs. I don't see the point. I don't need to, you know. But in this song, it says, like, I'm in need of healing. I'm in need of grace. I've spent too much time in this fucked up place. Yeah. And there was no other word that really caught the emphasis of how cruel just the world can be. Yep. And so that was the first time saying the F word in any of my songs, but I think it was warranted, and that's kind of where I've been at lately. It's like I need that grace in my life. Yeah.
No, 100%. I think there's meaning in swearing, as I am more probably afflicted to a sailor than a saint, as far as, you know, my vocabulary goes. But yeah, I mean, perfect explanation there. You know, emotions like a dam. Sometimes it builds up. When that dam cracks, it just kind of all comes rushing down. Yeah. So
changing, to go back to what you're saying, changing, you know, and listening to music less or more, and because of where you're at emotionally, I think it's normal. Just know that it's always there for you. Yeah. You know, it's always been there for me.
Oh, right on. And actually, I would love to play a clip of your music. You know, obviously we can talk about it afterwards. So we'll just throw in 5 seconds of silence here and just plan on putting something in. We'll be right back.
Keep my darkness close to me, 'cause it's not my enemy. Oh no, I'm not a hero. I've done things you won't believe. You wouldn't even recognize me. Oh no.
And thank you for listening to that song that was just played that we did not know the title of yet. So we are sitting here once again with Devon Sants. So Devon, to kind of switch the tide here a little bit, since you've gotten into the general managing the bar and everything, the music scene, what is some of these stuff? So what are some of the crazier, funnier stories that you have probably seen from just bar management or even maybe as a T-Mobile manager? Because maybe sometimes people flip out about their cell phones. Like, what are some of the craziest things that come to the top of your head?
Well, I've been straight up hit at T-Mobile. I'm in Pueblo. It's a little bit ghettoer than Rapid is.
Just a smidge.
Yeah, so I had somebody upset about it was about their bill and something that they did, and they spent like a 30-minute phone call to another country, and they're like, well, it wasn't me. And I'm like, well, I didn't break into your house and call someone in Paraguay or whatever. And he was like, are you being sarcastic? I'm like, well, I mean, you're insinuating that I did this, and I don't even know you.
Yeah.
No one here did that.
Yeah.
You had a 30-minute phone. I could see 30 seconds being an accident, but a 30-minute phone call, that's a significant amount of time to be on the phone. And it was outgoing, so it's not like they called you.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting it resolved, but that guy was just so upset. He tried to take a swing at me, and so I had to take him outside, and I, told him, it's like, you can't be acting like that. I'm going to have to call the police, but I don't want to do that, so I just want you to leave. I ended up coming in the next day and apologizing, bought me a 6-pack of beer, because that's how we roll when we're in the wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
People just get, people get frustrated easy. And I have some crazy stories, and I have gotten into a brawl one time as a store manager at T-Mobile in Pueblo.
Oh, no.
Those are all fun in games. When it comes to the Phoenix, though, we get drunk people, and this guy came in. He was already drunk when he got there, and so I refused to serve him. I was like, "Here, man." He ordered a beer or whatever, and I just gave him a glass of water, and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "It's water, man. I just want you to make sure you sober up a little bit. I want to try to take care of you,
Yeah.
And he was like, "What if I wanted to die?" And I was like, "Just don't do it in my bar."
Don't do it in my bar. I gotta take a second because people are unbelievable, and some people are stupid beyond belief. Speaking of stupid beyond belief, when you said you worked for T-Mobile, I am sitting here, and I shit you not, guys, I Googled T-Mobile, trying to figure out what the fuck this company was. And when we just circled back around, I realized you said T-Mobile as in the cell phone company, and I have just felt like the biggest idiot in the world.
Essentially, he was the general manager of a team of guys in vans just selling cell phones to kids on the street. Hey, kid. What about flip phone?
I'm like, what the hell is T-Mobile? Like, and then it just dawned on me. I'm like, wow, Jace, you are an idiot. I'm only halfway through my coffee, but yeah,
That's what brought me out here, actually.
Is it? Okay.
I was a store manager back home and had a DM position open up for a district manager, and it's a good opportunity. And I came out here, and it just turned into a fresh start, and that's exactly what I needed in life, and really got to reflect on. So, I wasn't always as good of a person as I was now. I made a lot of mistakes and things. I've let all that stuff go and reached out to those people and apologized. So anything else is really just on them at this point. I moved on, grew up, now I try to get back to the community and donate what little time I have. I try to donate to other people. I'm always doing something for someone else, and I like that. And
I'm going to put a little plug in here too. And maybe this is, since you're an artist, I think this might be something really cool for you to look into as well. But there is a foundation here locally that I absolutely love. I lost my uncle to suicide a few years ago, and there's this foundation here called the Sergeant Durr Foundation. And what they do is they help soldiers that are struggling with PTSD and suicide awareness. My buddy Haley, he lost his brother to suicide after he came back from deployment, and so they started this foundation to help out people locally, and it's phenomenal what they do. I mean, they've everything from helping these homeless guys, these people without homes, and getting them into apartments and furniture, and helping them find jobs, and then obviously helping them with counseling and everything that they need because they're struggling with this. And they do this gala every year, and there's always a couple people that perform music there. So I think it might be a really cool foundation maybe to look into, or maybe have you perform there. I think that'd be really awesome.
Yeah, I played at Susie Capo.
Oh, okay. Yep.
It was like a charity thing, and a lot of my songs deal with that subject matter. I don't always play them, but I've been told several times after playing a certain thing or whatever, they're like, "You don't know me, but I'm going through some shit, and I needed to hear that. Thank you."
Yeah.
And that's like biggest compliment I can ever receive because I've been through that. I know exactly what it feels like, and I don't hold back when I write about that or sing about it. And so, yeah, that'd be something I'm interested in. Actually, at the Phoenix, we do some stuff with Mission 22.
Oh,
and they do
that's a
stuff-
good one, too.
Yeah,
Another
Great
organization. They do
organization.
help
Yep.
vets with suicide and stuff. So yeah, we're all about that. Rob,
awesome.
actually, he was a vet.
Oh, okay.
Or he is a vet, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we're kind of all about that. Just try to welcome and just help people.
That's awesome.
Part of being a bartender is kind of like a barber or a psychiatrist. You know, you listen to people's problems. You try to talk them down when they're feeling down, and you just lift them back up. You know, and sometimes I feel like I originally wanted to go to school for psychology, and I'm like, I do this way too much in my personal life. I don't want to do this as a job.
Right.
And now I'm a bartender. I'm like, fuck, I'm still doing this.
Still doing it. I think that's actually probably some good common ground. All three of us have been bartenders.
Yep. All of us have been bartenders.
Cole was a bartender. I was a bartender. So we've all kind of got that experience. So
Yeah, now I'm a car salesman, so now I get to hear about their problems. Like, okay. Now, so you lived at your last address for a year. Now, what was your previous address before that? I don't really get to serve them alcohol because those and cars don't really go together.
But
so
you probably sell more cars.
Yep, yeah. Like, could you imagine that, like a Wisconsin car dealership? Oh, hey there, welcome to Milwaukee Motors. We got some Pabst Blue Ribbon on tap here today. And we're also featuring a beer from out west there. We have the Lost Cabin Amber from Rapid City, South Dakota. So go ahead and grab a glass. Give me your ID. We'll send you out on a test drive. But more than two, we're going to have you sit down for a half hour, okay?
Oh, yes. Yep. It's the big drink, drive, and sign event over here at Milwaukee Motors. Yeah.
Milwaukee
Honestly, that
Dodge
just
Ram
sounds like a
Ford.
fun time. Let's go drinking and test drive some vehicles.
It's just an empty, like, old abandoned airstrip that they do this on. So it's like, quarantined and everything. It's like, all right, if you can drive through the cones, you got another $250 off the
Purposely
MSRP.
zigzag the shit out of these cars.
Yeah.
Yep. Get approved. You get a truck. You get declined. You're getting drunk. We got something for everybody here.
You're not going to leave in a bad mood. We guarantee that at Milwaukee Motors. They're not even that bad. That's more like northern Minnesota. Wisconsin's more flat like this.
So, obviously getting kind of a little bit towards the end of the episode. And I know I want to circle back around to your music again here, Devon, because I understand you got a new single coming out and you got some new material. So kind of give our listeners a little bit of an update on what you got going on, what they can expect, and where to find all your music.
Yeah, so, first off, you can find it anywhere, on any platform, Spotify, iTunes. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I always post about it. It's on every music platform possible. The first album I had released this year was called Righteous Path, and that was kind of part one. That was kind of like this dissension into madness and chaos. And this one picks up right after that. And really it's like being able to accept and find balance with this darkness and things you've been through and be at peace with it and kind of move on. So it's all one story. And this is kind of part two, Wicked Road, and then this is going to be The Righteous Path. I think I'm about 7 songs finished. I've been recording it here at Cottonwood Studio for the most part with Tom Freer. He's the lead guitarist, and Brandon Jones is a good friend of mine. He does an amazing job. And then 2 of those songs I recorded out in Nashville, but that's what I've been working on. And it's like I said, it's going to come on July 17th. I got 1 single coming out, and then I'll do one a month later, and that one's going to be called Grace. And then I have this duet I recorded with this absolutely lovely gal. Her name is Ruthie Kraft. She's from Seattle. She was on American Idol and all that stuff. She came out here because her sister lives in Rapid City and had a baby.
Okay.
And she ended up getting snowed in, so her flight was delayed. She came into the Phoenix for open mic, and we met. And we hit it off right away. I thought she was really cool. She has a great voice. I got her a gig at Murphy's since she was still here, and kind of hung out a little bit. I was telling her, I was like, man, we should collaborate. We should do a duet. I have a couple duets I've written. I was like, I'm actually going to be out in Nashville recording. And she's like, when? We were in Nashville at the same time. Coincidence.
That's just
Wow.
fate at that point,
Yep,
man.
it was meant.
You gotta get in the studio at that point.
So yeah, I called Jay, who I was recording with out in Nashville. I was like, hey man, I want to change one of my songs to this duet song, and Ruthie's going to do it with me. And he was like, awesome, let's do it. And it just kind of fell into place. And that one's called Funeral Planning, which doesn't sound like a love song, but it's like if Gomez and Morticia were getting married, that's what they listen to, and it kind of romanticizes the afterlife.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
I
I
like
like
that.
that. That's an awesome
I love that
concept.
aspect of it.
That's
and way
really
to throw
cool.
the Addams family in there too as well. So
Yep.
shout out there.
Yeah, I'm kind of a darker person. I like Halloween decorations all year round.
Yep.
You know, that kind of thing.
Heck yeah.
I love the Addams family because I'm like, damn, That's the house I wish I grew up in.
Yep. Like Christmas time, it's all Nightmare Before Christmas, not regular
I would
Christmas.
put like a little bat, you know, or
Yep.
the little sailboat from It on the top of my tree for
Yep.
Christmas. That just sounds awesome. Why not?
That is awesome.
That is a new idea there. The sailboat from It. I like that. I like that one.
Yeah, I don't want a star up there. I want something fun.
Yeah, it's just cliche at this point.
So for anybody looking for Devon's music, Devon, Devon is how you spell the first name, and Sants, Sants, not Sans like Anakin's archenemy. It's Sants, Sants. Because when I first
Can we
heard
go
his
one episode without a Star Force Wars reference? All
Star
right?
Force Wars, no, we can't. You got to plug a Star Wars reference in there. But no, I only bring that up because when you first told me about Devon, I actually looked it up, Sands, and so I think it'd just be good for the listeners to know
Yeah,
it's
Devon
TS.
Sants.
Just trying to put the D where it doesn't belong there.
Yep. Well, that's what we're doing.
That's what men do.
Yeah. So, Devon, thank you so much. Cole, anything else you want to add, or?
No, I appreciate it, man. Just kind of, knowing you from like random karaoke nights, I got to say, man, it is fantastic to see just the growth of your music career in the short time we've known each other, just hearing about it from other people, hearing about the Phoenix, just from the third party point of view. So I just want to say, man, we here at Beers and Bullshit are huge fans of what you're doing, of what the Phoenix is doing, and anything we can do to help promote and just, kind of help you guys grow as a brand in the future. We are all about supporting the boys and supporting local business, man.
And
No, I very much appreciate you guys having me out here. If you guys ain't doing anything, I don't know when this is airing.
So I think we're recording this on Thursday the 1st, and then I am actually planning it for release on Blow Shit Up Day, the 4th of July, this Sunday. So
Sweet. Well, if you're not doing anything on Wednesday, the 7th, I'll be playing at the Loud American, or the following weekend, Friday, Saturday, Chris Susan Gay and I will be playing at the Bodega in Deadwood.
all right. Heck yeah.
the Bodega would be a great concert because it has like that tiny venue with like really great acoustics. It's something that the Phoenix has too. It's not huge. I wouldn't call it like small or tiny, but it's definitely got, like a longer, kind of narrow approach. And I feel like the music there, it sounds amazing.
It's almost as if it's in a 120-year-old building.
Yeah. Weird. Crazy how that works.
So, Devon, thank you again for being on the podcast. And thank you to all of our listeners tuning in. Like we said every week, we cannot express how much we appreciate all of your support. And we will see you guys next week. This has been Beers and Bullshit.
We are out.